My name is Olivia. I am 36 years old. Last Christmas, I finally saw what my family really thought about me. We were all sitting at my mom's house for Christmas dinner. I had paid for almost all the food by ordering from different good restaurants. I planned everything so it would look nice and homemade. Nobody really noticed. During dinner, my mom, Linda, waved her fork at me and said loudly, "So, how's that little online thing you do? Still playing on your laptop instead of getting a real job?" Everyone laughed. My brother Tyler laughed the loudest. I did what I always do. I smiled, pretended it was fine, and changed the topic. They all still thought I had some small, unstable internet job and that I barely earned enough to live. After a while, I went to the living room to quickly check something on my laptop. I opened a page that showed how much my investments were worth. It updated live. I looked at it every morning. Yet on the screen, in big numbers, it said, $14 million. It was the result of many years of hard work, learning, and careful investing. I thought I closed the page before I went back to help in the kitchen. I didn't. A few minutes later, Tyler walked into the living room to sit down. He saw my open laptop. He saw the 14 million. He shouted my name. His voice was shaking. Everybody ran to see. In 1 second. And they changed from laughing at my fake job to yelling at me and demanding money. But the story did not start at that Christmas table. It started many years before. I grew up in a small apartment just outside New York City. We were not rich at all. When I was 10, my dad died in a car accident. After that, money problems became a part of daily life. My mom worked late at an office job she didn't like. My brother Tyler, 2 years older than me, became her whole world. He was loud, emotional, and always in crisis. When Tyler did badly in school, my mom said, "He has been through so much. We have to be gentle with him." When I got good grades, she said, "Of course you did. You're strong, Olivia. You always figure it out," and went back to whatever she was doing. If Tyler forgot to take out the trash, she excused him. "He's distracted." If I forgot, she scolded me, "Olivia, I can't count on you for one simple thing." Soon I was cooking, packing my own lunch, and doing laundry. Tyler stayed in his room playing video games and watching basketball. He loved scores, stats, and later that turned into a gambling problem. I learned one main lesson: no one was going to save me. In high school in Brooklyn, I didn't want to go home early to a stressful house, so I joined the business club. I also found free coding lessons online and learned basic JavaScript on our old family laptop. One day in the school library, I took a book about investing from the shelf. It explained that money doesn't always have to be feared. You can use it, grow it, and plan with it. That idea changed my life. I got a part-time job at Starbucks. I told my mom it was for fun money, but I actually saved almost all my tips. My mom gave Tyler cash whenever he said it was an emergency, which always seemed to be before some big game. One afternoon, I downloaded a simple investing app and bought my first tiny share of a company. It cost less than a pair of shoes. Nobody at home asked what I was doing. Nobody was interested. When school had an awards night, I got a certificate for good grades and business club leadership. My mom said she would try to come, but there was a big NBA game that night, and Tyler wanted to go. She chose him. I stood on stage, looking at rows of proud parents taking pictures of their children. The seat where my mom should have been was empty. That night, I quietly decided something. I would build a life where I didn't have to depend on them for anything. Getting into college was not a big celebration for me. It was a lot of forms and deadlines. I filled out all my financial aid forms, FAFSA, by myself at the kitchen table, while my mom yelled at the internet company on the phone and Tyler shouted at the TV during a game. I wrote my college essays on the old laptop again and again until they were good. When I opened the email from New York University, NYU, and saw "Congratulations," I almost couldn't believe it. I got a partial scholarship and enough aid to go if I worked part-time. My mom said, "That's great, honey. Just don't move too far. We still need you around." Tyler rolled his eyes and called it nerd school. I moved into a tiny dorm room in Manhattan. My roommate from Ohio thought the subway was scary. I thought it was freedom. I studied finance at NYU. After classes, I went to every free workshop or club about money or tech. I still did small coding jobs online, making dashboards and fixing bugs. It wasn't a lot of money, but it helped. Back home, nothing changed. My mom complained about bills. Tyler dropped out of community college and started betting on sports through his phone. "Just $20 here and there," he said at first. Soon, my mom called me crying. The small bets had turned into thousands of dollars on her credit card. When I could hear him in the background shouting that the next game would fix everything, I started taking extra freelance work to send my mom a few $100s when I could. I told her it was leftover scholarship money. Actually, I was exhausting myself. When I graduated from NYU with honors, I got a job at a small but fast-growing financial technology, fintech company in downtown Manhattan. No one from my family came to my graduation. My mom said she couldn't get time off. Tyler didn't see the point. I watched other students take pictures with their parents. Then I took a selfie in my cap and gown and went home alone. At my first job, my title was junior analyst, but the work was exciting. We built tools to help people manage their money. We met with small startup companies that wanted to partner with us. I learned how to read company numbers and understand if a business was strong or weak. Through coworkers, I found a website where normal people could invest a little money in very early stage startups. I started following small fintech apps the way Tyler followed betting lines. I used my salary and small bonuses to make a few tiny angel investments. That means giving early money to young companies in exchange for a small share of them. At the same time, I set up an automatic transfer of $2,000 each month to my mom. I told her my job paid better than expected. She cried with happiness. More than she used much of it to pay off more of Tyler's gambling debt. I knew this was wrong, but I thought good daughters help. Some of the startups I invested in began to grow. One fintech app got bigger and bigger, then a famous big investment firm decided to put money into it. My small early share became worth much more on paper. At work, one of the senior managers joked, "If you ever leave, you'll probably run your own fund." A fund is a pool of money used to invest in many companies. His joke stayed in my mind. After some time, my small investment in one startup paid off. It got bought by a big tech company. When I sold part of my share, I suddenly had more money than anyone in my family ever had. I sat in my tiny apartment thinking about all the late nights, all the times my family missed my achievements while I still helped them with money. I realized I kept waiting for their approval. I decided to stop waiting. I quit my job, but not suddenly. I planned for months, saved more and talked with people I trusted. I started my own small investment fund, focused on fintech startups. I made the legal company, opened business bank accounts, built a simple website, and started meeting founders in coffee shops and online. The first year was very hard. Some early companies failed. I woke up at night worried about money. I paid myself a low salary and lived simply. My mom still didn't really know what I did. She just told people I worked on the computer. She thought I had some soft, weak online job. I increased my monthly support to her to $4,000 when my fund started doing better. She didn't ask if this was okay for me. She just started buying more things and continued to support Tyler. Tyler asked me directly for $5,000 once, saying he had a sure bet. I said no. He called me cold and selfish. Meanwhile, some of my investments did very well. One company was bought. Another one went public. The value of my shares kept going up. I had a private dashboard that showed the total value of all my investments and the money I had in cash. I checked it every morning. One day, the total passed $14 million. I still lived in a normal apartment, wore simple clothes, and acted like nothing big had changed. I never told my family. I knew if they found out, they would not understand. They would just see a huge number and think, take it, spend it, fix our problems. A few weeks before Christmas, my mom called. She didn't even say hello properly. She just started complaining about bills, food prices, and how hard it was to give Tyler a proper Christmas. In the background, I could hear the TV and Tyler yelling at some game. Then he shouted, "Ask her about the car, Mom." My mom's voice went softer. She started talking about how Tyler's car was bad, how he couldn't get to job interviews, how a better car would change his life. Yet in that moment, I opened my banking app. I knew I could buy him a car easily, but I also knew he would probably use it to drive to casinos or waste more time. I said no to the car. Instead, I told my mom, "I'll pay for everything for Christmas dinner. You don't have to worry about food or drinks." She was relieved right away. I lied a little and told her my company had special holiday discounts with restaurants, so it wouldn't sound like such a big deal. Over the next weeks, I ordered food from good places, roast turkey, side dishes, desserts, and nice wine. It all cost around $3,000, but I could afford it. On Christmas Day, I arrived early with some small items to make the food look more homemade, like herbs and decorations. The house looked the same as always, just more crowded with cheap things bought online. Tyler came late, in a hoodie, unshaven, eyes on his phone. He went straight to the couch, and I brought my laptop because one of my investments had an important event that day. I needed 5 minutes to check things. During dinner, everyone talked about jobs and money. A cousin talked about a raise. An uncle complained about his boss. Then my mom tapped her glass and said, "Olivia works on the computer, some kind of freelance web thing. Very unstable. We keep telling her she needs a real job with benefits and a pension, but you know kids these days." Some people laughed politely, or Tyler said without looking up, "Must be nice to just sit on a laptop all day. If I could get paid for that, I'd be rich too." I felt the usual sting, but it was weaker now. I knew something they didn't. I could buy and sell their yearly incomes and barely feel it. I smiled and changed the subject. Between courses, I slipped into the living room with my laptop. I opened my email and checked a few messages from a startup founder. And then I opened my investment dashboard to see if everything was okay. The big number was still there, $14,023,000. Then I got up to refill my mom's glass. I thought I closed the laptop. I didn't. Soon I heard Tyler yelling my name. "Olivia, what is this?" My mom shouted, "Is this some kind of joke?" I walked into the living room. Everyone was now gathered around the coffee table. My laptop was open. The big number was shining on the screen. Tyler pointed at it. "Tell me this is fake. Tell me it's a game." "It's not fake," I said quietly. "These are my investments. My work." My mom stood up so fast her chair scraped the floor. $14 million? She screamed. "You have $14 million? No one said, "Well done." No one congratulated me. They just stared at me like I had stolen something from them. Tyler's face was red. "You've been sitting on this while Mom is drowning in bills? While I'm stressed out of my mind?" My mom's voice shook. "How could you not tell us? We have struggled. We sacrificed. Your brother has been through so much and you hid this." I said, "I have been sending you money every month for years. I have helped." "Helping?" she snapped. "Little drops while you sit on a fortune. We paid for your whole childhood. We gave you everything we had. You think that money is just yours?" Tyler jumped in. "Do you know what I could do with that? With real capital, I deserve a chance more than you. I've been held back because we were broke. You were supposed to help. You had chances," I said. "You had Mom's cards, my transfers. You didn't invest. You gambled." "You don't get it," he shouted. "Your brain doesn't work like mine. I see patterns." My mom tried to sound sweet and calm. She held my arm. "Sweetheart, listen. We're your family. 14 million is more than one person needs. Your brother is sensitive. He has problems. You could pay his debts, buy him a car, fix his life. You could make sure I never worry about bills again. That's what a good daughter does." It was the same talk I had heard all my life, just with a bigger number. "I have helped," I repeated. "While I studied, while I worked 2 jobs, while I built this alone, you never asked how. You just kept taking." Tyler exploded. "Because it wasn't enough. Look at that number. You let us struggle while you hit the jackpot. What kind of person does that?" "The kind whose school awards you skipped to take him to basketball games," I said. "The kind who filled out her own college forms while you shouted at the TV. The kind who built this without $1 from you." My mom's face went hard. "We did our best. Your brother was fragile. He needed more. You were always fine." "No," I said. "I was just easier to ignore. And now you want to cash that in?" Tyler stepped closer, angry. "Drop the act. You're rich. You owe us. We made you." I actually laughed. "You didn't make me. Your neglect did. Your favoritism did. I owe you respect, not my entire bank account." My mom's eyes turned cold. "If you refuse to help, you are selfish. Everyone will know my millionaire daughter lets her family suffer." "I am not refusing to help," I said. "I am refusing to be your ATM. From today, I stop sending money completely." The room went silent. Then people started shouting, begging, accusing. But Tyler kicked a chair. "You think this laptop makes you better than us? You'll die alone with your money." He moved like he might grab my laptop. I stepped between him and the table. "Touch my things and I call the police," I said. "Keep lying about me online and I call a lawyer." My mom started crying loudly, saying I was tearing the family apart. I picked up my laptop, put on my coat, and said, "I'm leaving. We're not solving years of problems in one night. If you walk out that door—" "Don't come back!" my mom yelled. I paused at the door. "I've been walking out alone my whole life," I said. "This is just the first time you noticed." Then I left. All the way home, my phone buzzed with angry texts, guilt messages, and then a long Facebook post from my mom calling me selfish and cruel. Tyler added comments about his mental health and how I refused to help him. Instead of answering, I emailed my lawyer with screenshots. He took it seriously. He explained I could protect myself even from my own family. Within a week, he sent a legal letter to my mom and Tyler telling them to stop posting lies, remove what they had already written, and stop harassing me, or we would go to court. My mom called in anger. "Lawyers! Against your own mother?" I said the same thing each time. "Stop lying, and you won't hear from my lawyer again." Tyler bragged that no judge would be on my side, but soon his post disappeared. My mom's too. Even without my monthly money, reality finally hit them. Tyler could not put more money into his betting accounts. People he owed started calling and visiting. They were not as patient as I had been. A cousin told me later that Tyler finally ended up in a gambling rehab program after some trouble with the police. He was still angry, but was at least forced to see that he had an addiction. My mom tried to handle everything alone, like always. She asked for small loans from neighbors, or maxed new credit cards and tried to sell things. But debts always win in the end. Her sad story about her selfish, rich daughter stopped working when people saw the full truth. Some friends quietly left her. A church friend who had seen my old messages offering to pay for therapy and advice pulled away. In the end, my mom had to sell the house to pay off the worst debts and move into a small apartment. Another relative sent me the house listing and a picture of the sold sign. It hurt to see my childhood home go. But I knew this. The house had been burning for years. I did not start the fire. I just stopped standing inside it with a bucket of cash. My own life became calmer. I hired a few more people for my fund, so I didn't have to do everything myself. I paid myself a normal but comfortable salary. I started sleeping better. Oh, I also decided to use part of my fund's profits for something important. Teaching financial skills to girls and young women who are the strong ones in their families. The ones who always hear, "You'll be fine," and are left alone to figure things out. Girls like me. Sometimes at night, when my email is quiet and the city feels peaceful, I think back to that Christmas dinner. For a long time, when I was angry that the moment my work finally showed a big number was turned into such a painful family fight. Now I see it differently. The $14 million didn't change my family. It just showed who they really were and how they really thought of me. Here's what I finally learned. You can love your family and still say no. Being the good child does not mean you must pay for everyone's bad choices. Having money does not mean you owe it to anyone who asks, even if they are your parents or siblings. Blood does not give people the right to treat you like a wallet. If you are the responsible one in your family, the one everyone expects to fix everything, remember this. You are allowed to stop. You are allowed to protect yourself. You are not a bad daughter, son, or sibling for refusing to be used. I chose, finally, to protect my own life and future. And that was the best investment I ever made.